So even though it's very likely that GTA 6 is probably years away, we're probably not going to hear about this game for a while. What we're going to be talking about in this video today is 10 things GTA 6 must do better than Grand Theft Auto 5. So I saw a pretty interesting article and I'm going to share it with you guys today. I'll leave a link to it in the description if you're interested. As always, when we do discussion videos like this, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below. What do you think Rockstar needs to do better in GTA 6 that they didn't do in Grand Theft Auto 5? So this is in no particular order, but at the number 10 spot today, strike a balance between single player and multiplayer content post-launch. So as I'm sure you guys are well aware, Rockstar initially planned for a ton of story content for Grand Theft Auto 5. Yet over time, GTA Online gathered a ridiculous amount of support, and we saw members of their design team discussing how development shifted towards multiplayer add-ons rather than a story-focused narrative. However, that being said, GTA has always been about the story content first, and I don't want Rockstar to get away from that in GTA 6. A lot of people are worried that they might solely focus on an online platform because it's been so successful, and I don't want Rockstar to do that. I still think a very enjoyable part of GTA is diving into the story, all the amazing characters, the unbelievable world, and it would be really unfortunate if they shifted away from that in the next game. And as a side note, they definitely need to improve on what they did in GTA 5, which so far has almost been no expansion to the single-player update if you take away what Rockstar did when they moved to the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The number 9 spot today, make property and playing the stock market matter. So even though you can purchase a variety of places around Los Santos, there's really no point other than it being something to collect. The same can go for the stock market. There's a set of checks and balances that dictate stock prices and market shares, but there's no overarching benefit to pay attention other than more money. More money to invest in random property that does nothing. Now, to remedy this, Rockstar should make some of the rarest and hardest to get items only available maybe through purchasing properties or investing in the stock market. That would actually encourage players to do it rather than just for the sake of, doing it for a certain mission or to just grind money over and over again. The number 8 spot today, give us more innovative ways to interact with the environment. So GTA 5's Los Santos is probably the most intricate and impressive open world of all time if we're talking about scope and scale. However, this level of intricacy doesn't extend to how we interact with it. Climbing, jumping, mantling, etc. are all there, but there's almost a bottleneck of conflicting animations if you try and climb a ladder after sprinting head on. So GTA doesn't need to become Assassin's Creed. However, I wish things were a bit more in-depth, like climbing, especially in multiplayer. I've actually talked about this in a couple of other videos that the level of verticality is completely removed in GTA 5. And Grand Theft Auto 6 got to do a little bit of a better job. At the number 7 spot, no gimmick missions. So there are some gimmicky missions in GTA 5. For example, the yoga one where you have to do ridiculous amounts of poses. Like, what's the point of that? I get that Rockstar want to do that to add character and to add volume to the game, but there are some missions that are just really dumb. Also, that mission where Michael has to break into the Life Invader office and flip one of the phones for like an explosive decoy, I feel like that was just dragged on way too long, where Rockstar wanted to make fun of Facebook and tech companies and stuff like that. So maybe cut down on the gimmicky missions, get us more into the action and the good stuff. That's what we all want. At the number 6 spot today, missions that are designed to play to the game's strength. So this kind of builds off of what we just talked about, but I think that Rockstar should do a better job on focusing on what Grand Theft Auto does well. So for example, in the mission Derailed, you have to jump a dirt bike onto a train as Trevor. And you'd think this would be pretty cool, but the way the physics work in GTA 5, you're almost more worried about, not making it on the train, when is the cutscene going to kick in, than anything routed in the action itself. Now, there were some pretty good missions like the Humane Lab stealth infiltration, and I feel like Rockstar should do more of that in GTA 6, or maybe just make us feel like we are less dependent on the world and a cutscene to ultimately save us. I feel like that happened one too many times in GTA 5. At the number 5 spot, unlock the map piece by piece. So this is something we saw in Vice City, San Andreas, and GTA 4, but in Grand Theft Auto 5, Rockstar decided that they wanted to make the entire map open from the start. It was basically just like, here you go, enjoy this big open world. And what I actually think this allows you to do is explore more of the world, be able to take in sort of the secret routes, the stunt jumps, the geometry of the area you're in itself, and not just have to get thrown into this big massive world all at once. That's kind of what I liked about GTA 4, how you were almost locked to an island, so you could get used to that. Then when it was time to move on, you move on to that one. Same thing happened in Vice City. So I almost kind of wish Rockstar would go back to that. Now, I also feel like that depends on the type of map you get. Maybe for this one, it just didn't make sense because there really isn't any islands to deal with, whereas that's all New York City and Liberty City is various islands. So maybe it was a little bit easier to do that. But I still think it would be cool, whether they're islands or not, if we unlocked the full map piece by piece. At the number 4 spot today, make clothing and gangs and factions actually matter again. So San Andreas really got this right, only for GTA 4 to kind of ditch the idea altogether. And maybe it's because Liberty City feels less gang affiliated than the streets of Los Santos. However, Grand Theft Auto 5 didn't really do a great job of that. I wish there was more of a focus on being associated with a gang. If you didn't know, there's actually 11 major gangs in Los Santos. Why couldn't we have been affiliated with one of those? That would have been really cool, and it would have been awesome if they had different perks or different benefits for being associated with one of those gangs. There really wasn't any of that in GTA 5, and I feel like that's one thing Rockstar did well in the past, and I would absolutely love for them to bring back in GTA 6. Again, I think that all really depends on the setting, so maybe if it's somewhere else like Vice City, that might not be the best idea. But I would love for clothing, gangs, and factions to have a little bit more of an impact on our character. At the number 3 spot today, another mute character. So I'm not necessarily making the case for another mute protagonist, but that was really cool in Grand Theft Auto 3 to have a main character that didn't speak. It almost allowed us to create the character he wanted to be, with sort of his own reasons and personality quirks that we'll never know. It was up for us to kind of fill in the gaps. Now, like I said, I wouldn't want the entirety of GTA 6 protagonists to not say anything. I feel like that's a little retro, but it would be cool if there was one character in general that didn't speak at all. I feel like that would be really interesting, especially if they were a bigger part of the story itself. Number 2, use more celebrities. So that's something we really didn't see in Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, in GTA 3, you had Frank Vincent, you had Michael Rappaport, in Vice City and San Andreas, you had Ray Liotta, you had Axl Rose. Grand Theft Auto 4 had a bunch of other celebrity appearances as well, but we didn't really see any of that in Grand Theft Auto 5. And I wonder why. Maybe celebrities or really famous voice actors just cost way too much for Rockstar. You wouldn't think that would be the case based off of the amount of money they've ended up making on these games. But you see it in a bunch of other franchises and AAA titles where celebrities and famous voice actors make appearances in their games, but you've almost never seen that in GTA. I don't want every character to be like a famous Hollywood celebrity, but it would be cool to see a couple cameo appearances appear in Grand Theft Auto 6. I feel like that would be awesome. And at the number 1 spot today, a little bit of a return to normal. So I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is still for the most part normal. We've seen this in online though, where there's been a shift to like rocket vehicles and flying cars. And even though I think that's cool for online, I feel like that's not the true identity of Grand Theft Auto. So in GTA 6, I feel like they need to reestablish the franchise and they need to put the Grand Theft Auto back in Grand Theft Auto. That's one of the reasons Grand Theft Auto 4 is one of my favorite games of all time, because it was all about immigration, the failure of the American dream, Nico Bellic's own past coming back to haunt him. It was so real and it was so gritty, and it worked really well in that game. Just like how Vice City and San Andreas were a little bit more crazier, it worked well for those times. So I'd love to see GTA 6, like I said, return to a little bit more normalness, as you will say. I mean, it's going to be awkward if Rockstar has to start that game with flying cars and rocket bikes, because that's what they've done in online. I just feel like that isn't like the most amazing fit for the Grand Theft Auto series. But that right there is 10 things I think GTA 6 must do better than Grand Theft Auto 5. As always, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. What are some things that you think GTA 6 needs to do better than GTA 5? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comment section down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. We like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.